Afternoon everyone. This is Arnel Oliva from Group 2 and and this is for educational use only. Our group is allowing our instructor Mr. Roldan Ardines to use this on an educational matter. So here's a report. 6 core claims of globalization. Increased economic interconnectedness. Globalization fosters a more interconnected world economy, promoting the flow of goods, services, capital, and information across borders. So, economic growth. So, what is economic growth? Economic growth is an increase in the production of economic goods and services in one period of time compared with the previous period. It can be measured in nominal or real, adjusted to remove inflation terms. Traditionally, aggregate economic growth is measured in terms of gross national product (GNP) or gross domestic product, although alternative metrics are sometimes used. So number 2, cultural homogenization and diversity. Globalization can lead to both cultural homogenization as Western influences spread and cultural diversity as different societies interact and exchange ideas, values, and traditions. So, what is cultural homogenization? It is an aspect of cultural globalization listed as one of its main characteristics and refers to the reduction in cultural diversity through the popularization and diffusion of a wide array of cultural symbols, not only physical objects but customs, ideas, and values. That's all. Thank you.
The third core claims of globalization is technological advancement. Globalization is closely linked to technological progress, facilitating communication, transportation, and information exchange on a global scale. The example of technological advancement is the rise of social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter, enabling instant communication and information exchange across borders, connecting people globally. The fourth core claims of globalization, rise of multinational corporation. The globalization process has enabled the growth of multinational corporations which operate across multiple countries, influencing global market and economics. The example of rise of multinational corporation, companies like Coca-Cola operating in numerous countries, standardizing their product globally but also adapting marketing strategies to local culture.
So the fifth core claims of globalization is increased interdependence. Nations become more independent in a globalized world, relying on each other for resources, expertise, and economic stability. For example, European countries in the European Union relying on each other for trade, policy coordination, and mutual economic stability, illustrating increased interdependence. So the six core claims of globalization is challenges and inequalities. Globalization can exacerbate economic and social inequalities both within and between countries, creating challenges related to wealth distribution, labor rights, and environmental sustainability. The example is the exploitation of cheap labor in developing countries by certain multinational corporations, leading to social and economic inequalities and raising concerns about labor rights and fair wages.
Pros and cons of every claims. I'm going to give you two pros of 6 core claims of globalization. The first one is economic growth. Globalization can lead to increased trade, investment, and economic integration, which can stimulate economic growth and create job opportunities. Example of it is China, in particular, has experienced significant economic growth over the past few decades through globalization. China has opened up its market to international trade and investment, attracting foreign companies and capital. And the second one is access to goods and services. Globalization allows for the availability of a wide range of goods and services from different parts of the world, providing consumers with more choices and potentially lower prices. For example, popular global brands such as Apple, Nike, and Coca Cola have expanded their presence worldwide, making their products accessible to consumers in various countries. People can now purchase the latest smartphones, sportswear, and beverage from those global brands regardless of their locations.
So the next of access to resources is the cultural exchange. Cultural exchange at its core involves the sharing of ideas, values, traditions, and other aspects of culture among people from different backgrounds. This can occur both within one's own community or across borders while traveling. So, for example, a student from the United States studying abroad in China may learn about the country's culture, history, and language, which can broaden their perspective and enhance their educational experience. Cultural exchange has a positive impact on globalization. So the next one is the technological advancements. The speed with which culture is diffused has changed as a result of technological advances. Sharing of ideas, information, goods, and services through globalizations is also possible because of advances in communication, technology, and media. So, for example, growth of mul- multinational technology corporation, liberal liberalization of trade and economic. The next one is mobile banking, or mobile banking has allowed to people to access money both at home and around. So next example is uh, media globalization. So the next one of pros is opportunities. So meaning globalization increases competition in the international workforce as more employees can apply for opportunities in other countries. The increasing demand and low supply of job opportunities may cause employees to offer cheaper labor to secure employment. So, for example, of globalization on would be a Walmart having its manufacturing facilities in China. Walmart is an American company, but it uses cheap labor that is available in China.
Pros and cons of six core claims of globalization. So I'm going to give three examples of cons of six core claims of globalization. So the first one is the income inequality. Globalization has been associated with widening income equality within and between countries. While globalization can lead to overall economic growth, the benefits are not evenly distributed. Wealth and income tend to concentrate among those who are already affluent or have the skills and resources to thrive in a globalized economy, such as high skilled workers, investors, and multinational corporations. So, meanwhile, low skilled workers often face stagnant wages, job insecurity, and limited access to opportunities for upward mobility. This widening income gap excess- exacerbates social tensions, undermines social cohesion, and can lead to disparities in access to education, healthcare, and other essential services. So, example, the United States provides a notable example of income inequality exacerbated by globalization. Over the past few decades, globalization has contributed to decline of manufacturing jobs in the U.S. So many of these jobs have been outsourced to countries with lower labor cost, leading to job losses and wage stagnation for blue collar workers. Meanwhile, executives and shareholders of multinational corporations have reaped significant profits from globalization, widening the gap between the rich and the poor in the country. According to data from the World Inequality Database, the top 1% of earners in the US captured over 50% of all income growth since the 1970s, while real wages for the bottom 50% of earners have remained relatively flat. So, second is the loss of jobs. Globalization can result in job displacement and outsourcing, particularly in industries that face increased competition from lower cost procedures overseas. Manufacturing jobs in developed countries have been particularly vulnerable to outsourcing to countries with lower labor cost, such as China and Mexico, such as China and Mexico. Additionally, advancement in technology and automation have further contributed to job losses in various sectors. As businesses seek to streamline operation and reduce labor costs, the loss of stable, well-paying jobs can have profound economic and social consequences, including unemployment, underemployment, and economic insecurity for affected workers and their communities. So, the example of this is the textile industry in Bangladesh serves as an example of job losses resulting from the globalization. Bangladesh has become a major hub for garment manufacturing due to its low labor cost and favorable trade policies. However, the rapid expansion of the garment industry has led to concern about labor rights, worker safety, and job security. While globalization has created job opportunities for many Bangladeshis, particularly women working in garment factories. These jobs often come with low wages, long hours, and unsafe working conditions. Moreover, advancements in automation and robotics threaten to further reduce the demand for labor in the garment industry, potentially leading to job losses for millions of workers in Bangladesh and other developing countries. And the last one example is the environmental impact. Globalization has led to increased environmental degradation and unsustainable resources exploitation. The pursuit of economic growth and profits often comes at the expense of environmental sustainability. As business prioritize short-term gains over long-term environmental preservation. Global supply chains contribute to carbon emissions, deforestation, pollution, and depletion of natural resources as goods are produced, transported, and consumed across borders. Moreover, lax environmental regulation in some countries can lead to environmental dumping, where industries relocate production to areas with weaker environmental standards, exacerbating, ex, ex, exacerbating environmental problems on a global scale. Climate change, habitat destruction, and loss of biodiversity are some of the critical environmental challenges exacerbated by globalization. So the example of this is the palm oil industry in Southeast Asia exemplifies the environmental impact of globalization. So palm oil is a versatile and widely used commodity found in many everyday products, including food, cosmetics, and biofuels. However, the expansion of palm oil plantations has led to widespread deforestation, habitat destruction, and loss of biodiversity in countries like Indonesia and Indonesia and Malaysia, which are among the largest producer of palm oil. Large-scale deforestation contributes to greenhouse gas emissions, soil erosion, and loss of natural habitats for endangered species such as orangutans and Sumatran tigers. The environmental degradation caused by the palm oil industry underscores the need for sustainable practices and international cooperation to address the negative consequences of globalization on the environment.
Cultural homogenization. Cultural homogenization refers to the process by which diverse cultural practice, beliefs, and values become more similar or standardized across different societies. This can occur through various means, such as the spread of global media, multinational corporation, and international travel, leading to the erosion of unique cultural identities and the dominance of certain cultural norms. These are the example, the prevalence of fast food chains like McDonald's and Starbucks around the world is often cited as an example of cultural homogenization. These chains offer standardized menus and dining experience regardless of location, leading to a loss of local culinary tradition and spread of a homogenized global food culture. And last, dependency. Dependency refers to a situation where one entity relies heavily on another for various needs, resources, or support. In the context of globalization, dependency often refers to the reliance of less developed or economically weaker countries on more developed or economically stronger nations, corporations, or international institutions for trade, aid, technology, investment, and other resources. The example, many developing countries in Africa rely heavily on foreign aid and investment from wealthier nations and international organizations to support their economies and infrastructure development. This dependency can sometimes result in these countries being vulnerable to external influence and pressure, impact their sovereignty and ability to pursue independent policies and initiatives.